Our second topic for the day is, since indiscriminate tourism leads to environmental degradation, we must adopt a policy wherein only a limited number of persons who are able to pay the most are allowed to enter tourist locations. Debating on this for the motion, we have Disha Jagwani from Delhi International School, New Delhi.
Good evening to Honorable Chairperson, judges, and my fellow competitors and audience. I, Disha Jagwani from Delhi International School, is here in front of you all to present my views for the motion. Since the indiscriminate tourism lead to the environment degradation, we must adopt a policy wherein only a limited number of persons who are able to pay the most are allowed to enter tourist locations. The word indiscriminate here means any decision which is done or any instance which is done at random or without careful judgment. Tourism put a pressure on natural resources of the places like water, food supply, beaches, and coral reefs. Due to increased effort on providing good facilities to the tourists, it has increased a pressure on many other resources such as minerals, fossil fuels, soils, forests, and wildlife. Mass tourism is linked to increased level of population through the traffic emission, littering, increased sewage production, transportation by air, rail, road have considerably increased due to the increase in tourism over the last decade, which have also increased the pollution level. Tourism also increased the content of solid waste in the environment, which destroys the natural beauty of the place as well as the disturbance in the natural habitat. Solid waste has majorly affected the beach areas and destroys marine life. Mass tourism can only be achieved with simultaneous infrastructure development. The cost of falls off on the government, which has to step out of the revenue sources by taking loans from the foreign nations, etc. Often, it is not one-time investment and needs continuous monitoring and reparation. The interaction between the foreigners and the locals, however romantic and beneficial it may seem, need not to be positive impact. It can increase in prostitutions, crowding, congestions, drug and alcohol problems, and increase the crime levels. The job created by tourism often belong to the informal sector like those guides and roadside vendors. These often ill-paid and seasonal in nature. With the boom of in privatization, the informal and low-scale jobs in tourist places are often displaced by huge hotel and restaurant chains, which bag the majority financial gains and also deal the utmost environmental harm. Furthermore, the money generated by tourism need not to be used for the betterment of the people. Money nowadays have a majority power in realization of the step which a person takes, more the money, more apprehensive regarding the service provided. Hence, I would like to conclude myself by saying anything which is done without a thought in mind can lead to harmful instances. Indiscriminate tourism is one of the prime examples. So, to control the damage, we have to lead to increase the monetary fees for the tourists so that the people involved can understand the value being responsible tourist for any place. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.
Thank you, Disha. With this, we now move on to our next participant who's going to be speaking against the motion. We have Alok Chedambat from GEMS New Millennium School, Dubai.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, please.
Good evening, adjudicator and fellow debaters. We have gathered here to discuss the motion. Since indiscriminate tourism leads to environmental degradation, we must adopt a policy wherein only a limited number of people who can pay the most are allowed to enter tourist locations. And this side of the House firmly believes that this is an unwelcome change. I will be talking about both the economic and the social problems that this change brings. Firstly, in 2017, the tourism industry had brought in $8.3 trillion to the world economy, both directly and indirectly. In many countries, tourism is the main source of income. A survey done in 2013 states that the median income of the world population is about $2,000 per annum. This would not be considered as rich, meaning the vast majority of people are poor and a minority rich. So imagine how much of a deficit the world would have to go through financially. If we take the case of Mexico, who's heavily reliant on tourism, they could be seeing a 12% decrease in income. This change would be devastating for an already war torn country. The education, nutrition, and overall well being of countless lives would be at stake. Secondly, for centuries, humans have been trying to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. But this change would render all this progress as null and make this gap wider than ever before. How, you ask? Implementing this change would mean that we are signifying the rich stay free to explore to their heart's content, whereas the poor stay caged in. I would also like to state that this motion does not contain promising advantages, even if imposed. Here's why. As we all know, the rich are who consume more, buy more environmentally costing items. They are the ones who leave a larger footprint, not the poor. For example, a rich person would accommodate himself in a hotel with a pool, where a poor person may not, which is bad for the environment. Hence, this motion would bring devastating disadvantages, as mentioned before, and very mediocre advantages. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alok. We now move on to our next participant, who is Naziha AR from GEMS New Millennium School, Dubai. She will be speaking for the motion. Naziha?
Ma'am, can you see me?
Yes.
All right. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Your video is moving.
1 second. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay. A very good morning to the adjudicators, my worthy opponents, and my fellow teammates. Today, I will be playing the role of proposition on the motion put forward by the House. Since indiscriminate tourism leads to environmental degradation, we must have a policy wherein only a limited number of persons who are able to pay the most are allowed to enter tourist locations. The proposition would like to define the motion by stating that we believe that everyone deserves a chance to tour the world without incurring heavy costs, but not at the expense of the integrity of our environment. For far too long, indiscriminate and careless tourism has been the killer of many natural ecosystems all over the world. Not only do tourists litter, the automobiles they use cause incredible levels of pollution that throw off the natural balance of our air composition. As a consequence of their complete disregard for the environmental importance of these locations have long struggled to maintain biological equilibrium due to the heavy levels of pollution and degradation brought forth by these tourists. From Kyoto in Japan to Venice in Italy to Komodo in Indonesia, tourists have caused the downfall of many beautiful spots that were once the prides of their nation. Rare endemic species of flora and fauna are rapidly going extinct, all for the sake of what? Some luxuries ignorant people insist on having? Now, what if there was indeed a solution? Auctioning off tickets to the highest bidders at a time. This would ensure a more careful selection of tourists, and at the same time, the profits gained could be donated to local environment organizations. This would truly ensure that tourism does not stop and it is done so ethically while also maintaining a reverence for the environment of the country. The opposition would argue that this form of tourism is quote unquote discriminatory in some form. But instead of looking at it as some sort of method of financial segregation, it must be seen as incentive for everyone to work harder and smarter so they can afford the finer things in life. All the same, the proposition believes that digital tourism must be invested in for the sake of the average man. This way, everyone has the opportunity to enjoy the sights without compromising the needs of the environment. It is time we start prioritizing the well being of our planet before the entertainment of men. Hence, why we support this proposal and strongly believe that it would be a step towards true climate action. For there is no world where change can take place without sacrifice, and skipping out on meaningless trips to exotic destinations is a small price to pay for Mother Earth. If we stop viewing the world and its contents as things more than objects of our pleasure, this proposal could be easily implemented, and we would be rewarded with the knowledge that we played our roles in nurturing Mother Earth back to health. Prioritizing the economy over the health of our planet and supporting ruthless exploitation of our natural wealth and resources will surely cause the next mass extinction and will be the death watch beetle that is the doom of our society, and in time one feels certain, the entire species. Thank you.
Thank you, Nazia. I now invite Arivir Das from Garden High School, Kolkata, to speak against the motion.
Ma'am, am I visible and audible?
Not visible.
Now am I visible?
Yes.
Gifford Pinchot had once aptly remarked, "The earth and its resources belong of right to its people." Good evening, respected members of the jury and my fellow debaters. Today, I am going to be speaking against the motion before the House. Travelers belonging to all walks of life travel thousands of kilometers, not just to see the man-made structures, but also to be awestruck by the natural beauty the destination has to offer. Travelers are also, of course, attracted to places having historical importance. However, the seas, mountains, and forests are usually the chosen spots by the tourists. While visiting these locations, tourists often unknowingly or due to lack of awareness destroy the balance of the environment by littering. This does not mean that we can restrict tourism to only those who have the ability to pay the most. In this regard, I would like to cite an example. Pangong Lake in Ladakh is no less than heaven on earth. So tent accommodation was provided to the tourists by the side of the lake so they could enjoy the view. As we all know, tent accommodation at such an exotic place does not come cheap. It's obviously the rich who can afford it. However, the amount of litter collected within a span of 3 months was shocking. The local people who live in the harshest of conditions had to collect the litter, load them onto their vehicles, and transport them to the dumping grounds miles away. The authorities were thus forced to stop providing tent accommodation in order to preserve the beauty of the place. So how can one say that those who can pay the most should be allowed to enter these tourist locations where the basic sense of awareness is lacking? The poor locals of the place have far better civic sense than these rich tourists. Tourism not only helps in the development of these places, but also provides employment to a large number of people. Tourism encourages the people and the government to protect and conserve traditional customs, handicrafts, and festivals. Restricting tourism to only those who can pay the most will drastically harm the tourism industry and those who directly or indirectly earn through it. Molenbeek, the cleanest village of Asia, has not maintained its status by restricting tourists. Rather, they have allowed tourists to enter their village freely. However, serious fines are imposed if anyone is found littering. The villagers also have created awareness about cleanliness and how environmental degradation can be stopped. This should act as an example to every tourist spot. The government should take stringent measures against people who are found guilty of littering. The penalty should be so severe that anyone seen throwing even a lozenge wrapper would have to pay a hefty fine. Thus, I would like to rest my case by reiterating that tourism should always be encouraged among all classes of people, as nature's beauty is meant for one and all to cherish, and everybody deserves the right to travel as per their capacity. Thank you.
Thank you, Arivir. With this, we conclude all the arguments for this particular topic. I now request all the four participants to take 30 seconds and let us know if any of you would like to have a rebuttal time. Your time has begun now. The first rebuttal point has been requested by Alok Chedambat.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to ask a question to the first speaker.
Yes, please.
Okay, as there are fewer rich people, you can't really expect all of them to travel, and only some of them only travel once or twice a year, meaning there'll be a drastic decrease in the number of tourists. Wouldn't this cut down the income of many countries? So, could the speaker suggest ways to fill up this decrease in income?
Disha, this question is for you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the question. I strongly believe that income not should be a primary focus for anything. The primary focus should be environment, because we all are just inherited from our generation, and we have just borrowed it from our future generation. We can't sacrifice our environmental demands. I agree that there should be suggestive methods. The traveling should not be the ones. There are some measures. We should have the strictly fines on the things, people who are doing wrong. But this all requires money. But uh, that's my point. Money has to be increases some or the other way. Maybe in the cost of traveling or in the cost of fees.
All right. Thank you. The next rebuttal is from Aryaveer.
I have a question for the second speaker.
Actually, each participant is allowed only one.
Yes, ma'am. I'm talking about a proposition. Second
Yes,
speaker from this
yes, yes,
proposition.
yes. Sorry, my mistake.
No problem, ma'am. Yes, she referred to the fact that people should try to work harder and earn more to gain entry into the tourist locations. I would like to ask her by stating that not everyone is born with a golden spoon in their mouth and do not get the opportunity to earn a lot. So, how do you suggest they gain entry to these tourist spots which they would have wanted to visit for so long and did not get a chance because of the proposed system?
Nazia, this question is for you.
Ma'am, can you see me?
Yes.
It sort of goes without saying that there will always be inequality in economy, whether this proposal is implemented or not. This this applies for everything, not just this proposal. You have to work harder to get what you want, whether you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth or not. Most of the rich people in the world, most billionaires started off in extremely humble positions. So I don't think that really is an excuse for everything, especially in a capitalist society such as ours. The early bird gets the worm, and the hardest worker gets the gold at the end of the day. So I think that's the answer to that.
All right. Thank you. Disha, I believe you have a rebuttal point too.
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Ma'am, my rebuttal is for the first speaker in against motion. The speaker has overly emphasized on the economical gains. So, how the nature can be sacrificed in terms of economical gains, which we had in tourism industry.
Alok, I think this question is for you.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, I had not only talked about the economical change, I had talked about the social change too. With the economical deficits that come with this motion, a lot of people will go hungry, a lot of people will not have education, and there's a lot of other things that come into play, and you can't really just talk about the money. And I had also stated that this change would not really affect the environment in a good way, as we know that the rich are the ones who spend more money and are more costing to the environment. Thank you. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. With no further rebuttals, we now close the second round of the war of words.